What's going on, everybody? Coach Stefan here. I have Taylor on with us, doing a client interview. So Taylor, introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Hey guys, my name's Taylor.
Um, so tell everybody what you do for work,
I am an ER nurse. I've been for almost 11 years now.
right? And then you just finished school and now you're going to get your what? Your NP too?
Yeah, I've got my emergency and family nurse practitioner degree.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, guys, if you don't know, like at Pursuit, we train a lot of veterans, first responders, medical professionals. So Taylor's been with the program, I think like a little over like a year and a half ish, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, and yeah, I mean, he's been super busy the whole time. He's moved, he's gone back to school, done all these things, and continue to do really, really well in his program. So tell a little bit about your experience with like other programs before you came to Pursuit, because I know you've had some other coaches and done some other things, right?
Yeah. So I was with a couple other coaches, and I mean they're good, they're knowledgeable, but I'd say the main difference is they're not as available. And probably the biggest thing is a lot of them struggle to really tailor the program to what exactly it was I was looking for, and especially when it came to nutrition. They can say, okay, here's what you need to do to like get like a bodybuilder type physique. But they didn't really, it was hard for them to figure out how to structure a nutrition program to like for you to be able to obtain that sort of physique
Mhm.
and then always be there to answer questions whenever you would run into problems because you're always naturally going to do that. And that's what I really like about this program is that everything's structured, especially with the app, that you can do your workouts within that, and then which syncs with MyFitnessPal, and then you're there to sort of help with any questions about macros and tell me exactly what it is I need to be eating in order to get that sort of physique. So that's probably the main difference, and it's a lot
Mhm.
more important than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, obviously, it's this as a coach and the owner, like I think we do a really good job at that. That kind of like you said, customization and then the communication with it, right? Like if you're an online coach and you can't be there available like within a quick, reasonable time, right? The client's just sitting there and they're wondering, and it because it's not an in-person thing, you need to have communication. I think that scares a little bit of people. They're like, man, like how do you get coached online? Like what would you say to those people? Like should they worry about like being able to have like guidance or direction, or how do you feel in the program?
Yeah, not at all. Because with the weekly progress check-in reports, that sort of gets rid of that anxiety for me. And not only that, but you're easy. It's like we can reach you throughout the week too if there's any questions. And with the like pretty frequent Zoom calls and stuff like that, it's never really an issue. It always bridges the gap that people are scared of when they say, "Oh, I know I have to do this in person, or I'm not going to be held accountable." It's like you're held accountable every week, pretty much,
Mhm.
through progress photos, through metric tracking in terms of body fat percentage. Or there's a lot of them you can go through, and that, like I said, that bridges the gap for me. So I don't think it's an issue being trained online because there's so much availability and accountability.
Okay. Yeah, awesome, man. Totally agree with you there. So what are some like positive things and or progress you've seen since joining the program?
I've seen a lot in terms of like my own physique. I felt with like the other programs, it was a lot of spinning wheels and there's a lot of jumping off, jumping on again, jumping off again because of that. But probably the biggest positive I've seen, and the reason I've stuck with it so long, because a lot of the previous ones would only last a couple months, and I would get frustrated because there was lack of communication and so forth. But with this one, I've been able to like slim down to where I want, get to where I want, and maintain it because of all the um, availability and like accountability that this particular program provides. So I'd
Mhm.
say it's probably the biggest positive.
Right. Yeah. No, you've had really good transformations, and like, right, this is all while you're like really busy, have some crazy life things going on. Like it's not just 9 to 5 easy coasting, right? You're a young guy, you're out with you have a social life, you have all these things. And I think that like that is also a fear of people. Like, oh, I get on a program, like, oh, it's gonna ruin my social life. But and we both know that like it's adapted to you, right? Like if Taylor's like, I can work out 3 days a week because he's a, you know, an ER nurse and he works these long shifts, then that's what he can work out. But it might change, but it might increase. Like it, you know, it needs to be this ever evolving program where there's push and pull and it's collaborative, right? If Taylor messaged me halfway through the week and was like, dude, we need to get on a call. I need to talk to you. Like, I'm really stressed. Now I'm like, okay, let's set up a time. Like like, I just want to be able to help my clients. And no, I don't want to be on Zoom calls, you know, every day, all day, but a good coach gets their clients to be self-sufficient, right? Like, I know you have times where you ask questions, but like, for the most part, I'm just watching you crush it, right? Because you've had the coaching to be able to be independent and kind of do it on your own. And like, we just had a meeting. It's like when you're hitting your macros week after week after week, like you're doing it, boom, 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 you know, and having consistency. Do you feel like your like mindset has changed since you've started?
Oh, for sure, in a lot of different ways, but mainly probably is the fact that um, learning how to stay more consistent um, kind of bleeds over into a lot of other aspects of your life, which is something I never really expected. But when you sort of get on a roll with your workouts and you're feeling good and you're looking good, you sort of do that in your professional life and other aspects too.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like, it's hard to get across as a coach. And unless you've done it, it is hard, right? Like people, I think people call BS. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm like, no, no, no. Dude, you will demand more money at work. And part of the reason I tell people this is like, you view yourself in a better light. Like, I'm worth more. I'm worthy for more. Like we've seen people lose 20 pounds and they go back to school, right? Because they're like, I am worth that. I'm doing that. You know, they get promotions. They get a better partner if they're single. If they're not single, their relationship improves with their spouse or their kids. And like, you just carry yourself with like your chest out, right? And everybody you interact with throughout your whole life, and people might not like this, but there's an immediate judgment, right? Like if you're good looking and cute and you go somewhere, like you just get treated better. And I'm not saying you're doing it just for that reason, but like, it's also how you carry yourself. Because there's people that are like, you know, subjectively maybe not in great shape or not the best looking, but you could tell like they're super confident how they carry themselves, and nobody like questions their looks. They're just like, oh, like they're almost look at them based on their confidence instead of their looks. And a lot of that comes from the work they put in, right? Like maybe they're a successful business owner, successful, whatever, but they are in the mindset of, I put in the work for X. So they're a musician or whatever. They're just like confident in the work they put in. And I think that's part of the reason that we see the confidence increase. Like, it's not just because you had this amazing transformation. It's because like, dude, I'm putting in the work. Like, I'm winning. I have the momentum. Would you kind of agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I guess, you know, my last question for you is, you know, knowing kind of who we train, and what this program does and what it's done for you, like, who would you kind of recommend this program to?
Really, just anybody who's looking to make like a physical, like not only a physical transformation, just like a transformation in the way they do things. Um, I don't necessarily feel like you have to get on a program with this program, period, if you're just like, oh, the only thing I want is to look jack or rip. But like if you're looking for just like an overall positive confidence boost in everything that you do, or you're learning, or you just want to get in to learn how to eat healthier, or
Mhm.
you want to learn how to go to the gym and just make an overall transition and transformation, this is a great way to do it. Because like you said earlier,
Yeah.
you just like tell people, here's how you know, properly do squats, for example. You teach them how, and you teach them how to eat right so that they can take that on and learn how to do it themselves. So it's just like it's a big learning opportunity, and it's a big like confidence boost in terms of just how to overall change everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that being able to, like, I mean, our goal too, I mean, all of our clients know this. I'm super transparent with it on social media, is like to create independency. Like, I don't want to train you forever. Now, we have people that stay with us several years because they love it, and I'm never going to kick somebody out. And that's great, because are you going to have better progress with a coach? Yes, always. Like you just are, me included. Like if I have somebody that's tracking everything, that's more knowledgeable, you're always going to have more progress. But we do have people that leave the program after a year or 2 years and they go on their own. And the vast majority of them, when I check in, they're still doing really well. And it's just because they've built that up. And like, we do have, just for you guys listening, like we have resources on like training and nutrition and courses and all those stuff. And so like it's there. Plus I try to do educating along the way, like when I do my check-ins with Taylor, it's not like, oh yeah, do this and do this and do this. There's the why behind it. Right. And then it makes the client, such as Taylor, more emotionally bought in, like, oh, that's why. Okay, well, I will do that because I understand. Right. It's like your parents sitting there and like, do this. And you're like, I'll do it because I don't want to get in trouble. But like, I don't want to do it. And then so that avoidance is there and that emotional versus when, as a client, like when you can emotionally believe in something, you're way more likely to stay consistent. So yeah, Taylor, I mean, you've had a really good progress. I love working with you. I'm look forward to continue to work with you and watching you crush it, man. And yeah, you're a hard worker regardless. I mean, in spite of, how busy you are and all the stuff you have going on. So really proud of you, man. I really appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Absolutely. No problem.
All right. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good one. Thank you.